Today we're going to talk about one of the most powerful and honestly one of the hardest things to do in life, letting go. It sounds so simple, doesn't it? But this one single idea, this one practice, really can change everything.
So let me just ask you straight up. Are you sure you know what it means to truly let go? Because I think for a lot of us, what we think it means is actually completely wrong. So first things first, let's just clear the air and talk about what letting go isn't. And honestly, this might be the most important part of the whole conversation.
We have this idea that letting go means you're indifferent or weak or maybe even emotionally cold, that you're just giving up. But pretty much every spiritual tradition out there tells us it's the absolute opposite. It's an active, intimate process of releasing our inner resistance so we can engage with life more fully, not less.
And here is the absolute key. We're not letting go of our actual lives, not our jobs, not our families, not our responsibilities. No, we're letting go of the exhausting, constant attempt to control every single outcome. That's the entire shift right there.
So if letting go isn't about giving up, what is it then? Well, you can think of it as the art of releasing our inner resistance. There's this really profound insight that you find across cultures, and it says that our suffering isn't really caused by the pain or the loss itself. It's caused by our resistance to those experiences, that internal fight, that clenching against reality as it is.
And look, this isn't some new age idea, it's ancient wisdom. Buddhism calls it releasing attachment. Taoism talks about wu wei, or aligning with the flow. The Stoics were all about focusing only on what's in our control. And mystical Christianity speaks of surrender to a higher will. They're all pointing to the exact same truth. Real freedom comes when we finally relax our grip.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But what are we actually grasping onto so tightly in our day-to-day lives? Let's get a little more specific.
Let's start with the big one, a question we almost never stop to ask ourselves. Who are you, really? See, we cling so fiercely to the stories we tell about ourselves. I'm the successful one, or I'm the victim, or I'm the helper. And these identities, they give us a sense of meaning for sure. But when they get too rigid, they become prisons, making us defensive and terrified of change.
The Taoist sage Lao Tzu just put it perfectly. When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. When you let go of this fixed idea of who you are, it doesn't mean you become nothing. It means you finally create the space to become everything you might be.
Now, it's not just who we think we are. We also cling to our ideas about the future. So ask yourself this: what are you afraid of not knowing?
Your mind craves certainty. It's just how it's wired. You make all these plans and hold on to your expectations for dear life because the unknown feels dangerous. But letting go here means finding the courage to just be with the questions, to trust the process of life. That's not weakness. It's actually a profound kind of trust that makes you way more adaptable and alive.
And then, of course, there are our emotions. And oh boy, this is where it gets really, really tricky. How do you handle difficult feelings like anger or sadness or fear?
The biggest mistake we make is thinking we need to ignore or suppress a difficult emotion. But all that does is keep it stuck inside. True release is the total opposite. It's allowing yourself to feel it completely, in your body, without fighting it or judging it. That's the only thing that lets it finally move through you and pass.
So we've talked about the what and the why. Now let's get to the most important part. How in the world do we actually start to practice this in a real, tangible way?
So how do we begin to build this spiritual muscle? Where do we even start?
Here are 3 really powerful ways to practice. First, mindfulness. Just start to watch your mind's habit of grasping and clinging to things, but do it without judgment. Just notice it. Second, breath work. Use your exhale as a physical tool for release. With every long, slow breath out, just imagine and feel yourself letting something go. And third, ritual. You can do something symbolic. Write down what you're holding onto on a piece of paper and then safely burn it. Make the act of letting go real and physical.
And when you really commit to this practice, what's the result? What's the ultimate payoff? Well, that brings us to our final section, finding freedom in release. The payoff is just immense. Letting go isn't about loss. It's all about what you gain. It invites in this deeper resilience to life's ups and downs, greater compassion for yourself and for other people, heightened creativity, and more honest, authentic relationships. It allows you to engage with the world more skillfully because you're not being driven by fear or ego all the time. It really all comes down to this simple, beautiful idea. By letting go of our tight grip on life, we don't lose it. We finally get to meet it. So I'll just leave you with this one simple question to take with you. Looking at your life right now, in this moment, what's just one thing you could soften your grip on today?